giving you that target to be the top 5 person in the industry.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Apologies, we are starting behind schedule. There's an old saying you might have seen floating around the internet that says, "Those who tell stories rule the world." Hello everyone once again. My name is Lara Yeku. Thank you so much for tuning in. And welcome to our first year edition of my HR Storybook Live Series, where we share authentic and career stories for personal and professional development. Today, we have our 2 special guests in the studio with us, and I'm sure you're eager to hear them. I'm equally looking forward to hear their stories. But before we start, we'd like to welcome everyone once again, and please sit back, relax, and enjoy. Thank you so much and welcome back. Please permit me at this point to introduce our guests so we can jump straight into our career chit-chat sessions today. Thank you so much. I would like to briefly read out their profile. We have with us today Yemi Passion, who currently works at 7 Opportunity Company SBC, designing strategies and executing same for the corporate services and function. Welcome, Wyatt.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
And congratulations again.
Our special rookie is in the house with us today, someone I'm so proud of, my mentee. He's very diligent and supportive. Clinton, I'll read a bit of his profile. So Clinton is a lawyer turned HR professional, and his career story had transitioned a 360-degree turn as he made a career transition from full legal practice to human resources. I mean, he's had about 3 years plus experience in human resources, and we're excited to have him join us today. Clinton, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Ma. It's a pleasure having you. And thank you, YF. It's a pleasure sharing the same platform with you.
Thank you. You are the experienced person, I'm the rookie.
All right, so we jump straight into today's chit-chat session. Why? So I got a couple of questions from around the world. A lot of people do want to hear your story. And the most prominent question that I got came with regards to how you were able to cope with COVID-19. So COVID-19 impacted our world significantly, and people responded to it differently. For you, can you please share your story on how COVID-19 impacted your life and career, and what helped you to manage the impact of COVID-19?
Okay, thank you. I wasn't expecting this at all. Interestingly, I think the past prepared us a bit for the future. Okay, we had been talking about the future of work for a while, and at the time I switched jobs last year, I actually resumed into another role the same day that we got out of lockdown. So from lockdown into glow, right? And the moment when we're under lock and key, I think it also gave us an opportunity to understand the virus a bit more. And like I said, some people, some organizations, some entities, we were getting ready for the future that happened. And we didn't have a choice but to, given the knowledge that we now had about the virus, to coexist with the virus. So every day, May 4th of last year till May 10th of this year, I was at work, apart from public holidays. So, of course, we took all the precautions, social distancing at work, virtual meetings, but the fear was still there. Let's not kid ourselves. Your colleague comes into your office and after about 5 minutes sneezes, you're like, are we okay? You look at each other and say, is everything okay? We also felt a bit comfortable that we were insulated somehow, from an African perspective. So that gave us some more confidence to continue to do what we're doing, but not to ignore the fact that we did the things that we needed to do to protect ourselves. And we knew that if you're in an environment where you could do virtual work, that was available. Some of my colleagues have not been to work since March last year. If you are in an environment, excuse me, where you had to do a hybrid situation or some flex hours at work, 1 week on, 1 week off, another. So we were listening to other people, we were watching other people, we were surviving along the existence of the virus. And sometime towards late last year, I think everybody just realized that hey, we need to thrive, not only survive with the virus. So things began to change, and we got out of that fear mode almost totally until the second wave hit again in January, February. But by and large, I think it's information. It's about communication. It's about relationship with other colleagues, understanding what's going on. In the HR Directors Network, we are always engaging about what you're doing in your own organization so that we can adapt where necessary in our own organization. So nobody had a blueprint for success because we hadn't gone through this phase before, but we all learned through it. And we're where we are today.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. I have my second question for you. First, congratulations on your new book that you just released yesterday.
Thank you.
So a question came in, and people really would like to know how you're able to juggle everything that you do. I mean, you wear multiple hats. You have the responsibility as a husband, as a father, as a business leader, as a mentor, you know, and you are able to equally give of yourself to people. How are you able to juggle all of this?
Okay, I mean, just before we started, I still answered the same question the fourth time between yesterday and today, honestly. And my external response is this: I don't do a lot. I actually don't feel. I know a couple of people are watching me in the studio right now. So people are listening now and they're rolling their eyes. I actually don't feel that I do too much, that I do a lot. I categorize all I do into maybe 4, 5 buckets. So I say God, relationship with God, 2, family, 3, work, and 4 is ministry or purpose. Outside of those 4 things, I don't see myself actively involved in any other space. So at every point in time, those 4 areas of life are always around me. So I don't do a lot of social. I say that I'm antisocial, and people are still struggling to believe me. I rarely go for social events, but Ada Onyeri, yes, yesterday still said to me, we're chatting about this, and she said, even your engagement, your speaking engagements are social. Okay, so if you say those are social events, maybe, but I see them differently. I see them that it's another opportunity to go impact one person at least. And it's not as if I stay in those events for a whole day. I do an hour or 2, all the activities and the selfies, of course, and then I go back into my small private world. So it's just around those. So I don't see myself doing too many things. And I also think that, yeah, when you are in the space of purpose, there will always be an opportunity for you to express yourself. So that's what I see.
Yeah, I think because you're also able to give of yourself to people. You are very accessible, you are very responsive to your messages. So everybody keeps wondering, he's always available online. How does he make out time to do other stuff?
Okay, so I'll say this. I grew up at home with a saying on a frame, and I'll read it out verbatim. I cannot have another life beside this present one. And all the goods I want to do, it's now it must be done. And after helping some along, I'll have no need to say, oh, could I have another life, if only for a day?
Wow.
So it's only one life. Let's give as much as we can.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That is so deep. Okay, Quentin, glad to have you here.
Thank you very much.
So can you tell us about your transition from law to HR? What informed that?
Okay, I think basically the journey started in 2013. That was my 3rd year in school, running my LLB program. I found out I was more inclined to administration, management, putting things together, helping things work. I became the chief administrator of my fellowship. So at that point in time, I started asking myself, could it be law all through? Or is there something else that I need to understand? That was what led to the journey into my reinventing myself, so to speak. During service here, I had to run some HR programs, some administrative programs. I was seeking mentorship, direction, because I was pretty confused. So after law school, I had to do 1 year NYSC serving in a law firm. After then, I came to Lagos and then worked for 6 months in the law firm, but I knew this was not where I belonged. In between that period, I was making applications. I made over 500 job applications.
Wow.
Yeah, I was within 3 months.
3 months. Wow.
So I was making, including Saturdays and Sundays, minimum of 8 per day.
Wow.
So it was so intensive that every job portal had my details. Okay, so because I need to breathe outside the law firm. Not that I don't enjoy it, I make money, but it's not just about the money. I feel something about me was not adding up within the space of the law firm. So eventually I got an offer with ICS outsourcing, great organization, as a learning and development administrator. So that was what opened up the floodgates of every other thing I've experienced in HR space, work, and life generally.
Awesome.
Now, as a learning administrator, I've had the opportunity of hosting YF, hosting you too. So I coordinate trainings, coordinate knowledge sharing, coordinate open trainings, and part of my unspoken journey was serving coffee. Yeah, so I served coffee to training attendees, served coffee to other guests, and I did it excellently well. Like anytime they were like, "Where is that suit wearing coffee serving?" So that was the little beginning. I valued it and cherished it with everything I can because I knew that was just a springboard to the next level. So I did everything. In between the training, I was listening to all kind of training. So I was growing. Sometimes I have access to the training materials. So my growth rate was rapid. So I got to a time and now transitioned and started learning sales. Some ask why, what other journey that I've spoken that you were part of? Okay, let me list it. For instance, a typical of a consulting firm, sales was at the peak of it because I picked an interest in sales. My HOD then will always say, nothing happens until sales happen. You say your primary job role in this organization is to help us make money. Every other thing is secondary. So the bottom line is you should trace your effort on how it adds to the bottom line of the organization. So I picked interest in sales. Each morning I'll go to the recruitment department and speak to the audience there, pitching the services and products of the organization to them. So that was how I was refining my speaking skills. I was learning. I was like, one day I will stand before a crowd to facilitate a training. So before then, let me refine in this little space. Let me refine our training skills. Learn sales, learn public speaking, learn customer relationship management. In between, learn Excel, proficient Excel, advanced. Learn PowerPoint, learn presentation, learn content development, learn managing your boss, managing your colleague, emotional intelligence. So in between these one short year, I was soaking it all in until an opportunity presented itself.
Awesome.
Yeah, so normally they will assign a facilitator for a particular event, and I will always be on standby. I know the topic, I'll go prepare my own slide. I'll be praying that either the facilitator comes late or something happens. And throughout 2019, each Friday, I don't go home. I stay over in the office throughout the night.
I'm aware.
Yes, because the trainings were always on Saturdays. So I'll use throughout the night, work on my slide, have the projector present myself over 10 times over, right? Just to perfect that skill. And in the process, be praying that in the morning the facilitator will be
Not
late.
sure what kind of prayer is
Just
that.
a minute late, and I'll take over the stage. So maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes in between, he comes in. I'm already facilitating and I'm doing well. And that was what led to every other thing.
Awesome.
My journey, sales, business development, content development, training, and the rest of them. And here am I today, still starting. Anyway.
Still starting. Wow, wow.
Nice,
Powerful.
nice.
Scary. I mean, I can relate to a lot of things that you said because we've spoken a couple of times. And your story is really loaded. You mentioned something earlier. Even though you were working at a law firm and you were making money, I emphasize that you were making money, but yet you wanted another career in HR. So my question is, what does meaningful work mean to you? A lot of young people have come out to speak to me about, okay, this is actually what I want to do. And there's been a lot of conversations around making work meaningful to employees. So for people your age, what does meaningful work mean?
Okay, for me personally, meaningful work means the ability to give all of yourself towards a good cause. So I emphasize that. Now, let me digress a bit. Each time, because in my journey, in my career process, I learned how to write CVs, how to prepare people for interviews and the rest. So each time I help someone get a job, right? Either writing the CV, working on LinkedIn profile, helping the person prepare for interview, and he or she comes back, tell me, Clinton, it was a success. I'll be starting next month. There's this sense of fulfillment in me that comes out.
Wow.
Like I've helped someone else in one way or the other achieve his own dream. So it's all about fulfillment, not just necessarily money, but your essence, your core. I mean, are you achieving purpose in itself as it were while working and having value, making money is just secondary. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, Wyatt, I have a question here for you. What has been your driving force as you have progressed in your career? What has inspired you?
Right. So I think I've mentioned this before. It doesn't look like it on the surface. People think I'm calm and things happen, but I have a huge fear of failure. I've always had that fear since I was a young guy growing up. So everything I'd envisaged that I wasn't going to tow certain path. I wanted, okay, so let me not be unnecessarily, what's the word, self-serving by saying that, oh, I'd always wanted to work or do HR. I didn't know exactly how the future was going to pan out. But what was the driving force for me was, I mean, you can't afford to fail. You can't afford to fail. So because I'd failed early, failed quickly and learned from that experience, it was a propelling factor for me. I mean, I finished school with 4 credits. I've shared this before, and I thought I was going to go into refer from secondary school, but it took me 3 years after. I did A-levels, I didn't get enough credit. By the time I finished doing A-levels, I still had 4 credits. So I was back to the drawing board. So all the seemingly successful progress that we see today had foundations around the fact that we had failed quickly earlier in life, and we took lessons from that experience. So that I took into school, and then I started spending more time in the future. That's another thing. I've worked in a couple of places, and I can say that I think that I had seen myself at some point in maybe 5 or 6 of those environments before they even happened. And again, this is because I didn't want to fail, always looking forward. So many other factors now surround that fear of failure for me. So self-development constantly. I realized quickly earlier in life also that communication was going to be important for anyone to succeed in a corporate life. So despite the fact that I studied English, I was deliberate about improving my communication skills. I had a similar experience to yours. I didn't pray for the facilitators not to come, but at some point when I was doing executive selection and training, because I was the person preparing the training materials, I was quite familiar with the material. So on one occasion, the senior manager who was going to take the program at KPMG, then as Anderson, suddenly wasn't going to be available. And because I had done the materials, I was familiar with it, I just took the center stage. So I prayed more for facilitators not to come and fast tracked my involvement in that process. But that was it. Because you become, the more comfortable you are with your material, the more confidence you have in doing things. So yes, self-development was part of it. I didn't know I was going to do human resources. When I got into HR, I started reading HR books. Before HR, when I got into sales, I remember that the salary that was not enough at that time, I took out of it and I bought a book called Sales Dogs. And that was a great book that helped me in my 1 year in sales. When I got into direct marketing as well, small little money, buy things. So the thirst for knowledge has always been there, right? It could be a chapter of a book. It could be an entire book. So I think self-development was just critical as one of the things that I built on that foundation of just scared of failing in life. And it's still a journey. It's rookie versus rookie. it's still a journey, but I think the more we are in the space of not relaxing on where we are, always thirsting for more, the more life will probably answer to us and give us more.
Awesome. Wow. Thank you so much. For our audience online, if you have any questions, please feel free to post your questions in the chat box. We will pick up your questions and we'll ask our audience. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, wife, once again for that. I remember a couple of times some young people had reached out to me with the complaints that when they pick up a job offer, they are being given a job description. And then they review and realize that the roles that they are being asked to do is different from what is on their job description. A couple of them have come back to complain. And they've been questioned around why does that happen in the workplace? From your experience of unspoken job description, how are you able to make that mind shift to see your spoken job description as an opportunity to learn and add value?
Okay, like I said earlier on, when I was starting, I needed to fast track my growth.
So you were clear?
So I was clear that even if I have to go extra miles to get more, which I did because I was cross-pollinating between departments, right? Sometimes sales, I have them in recruitment. I'm not in sales, I'm not in recruitment, but I help out because I want to learn how things work.
Yeah.
Okay, so sales generally, I was more interested in sales because it was a mantra for me that you don't leave work each day without selling a product. So it kept me on the go. So I'm talking to people in the boss, I'm talking to people within the company premises, I'm talking to people online. So I could have.
Were you giving a sales target?
No.
Or you just?
No. Okay. There wasn't a sales target.
Okay. Okay.
So, but I needed this because if I must have this experience, then I can't just wait. So some young folks like myself, young professionals, may be saying, and this were not part of what was communicated. I just resumed to say. Now I had to make that mentorship because I knew it was a way of grooming me faster. So I think it's seeing it from the other side of the lens, right? That these things are actually here to make me learn. And at that level, you don't have the knowledge. So you have to soak in all you can within a short period of time. Now on Saturdays, I extended it because I'm always helping mentors at events, coordinating, looking out for other things. In that process, I met quite a lot of persons.
I mean, in all my design thinking sessions, always been around to help and support.
Okay, so that was how I was actually take 3 years. I was learning in 6 months one day because I was facilitating fast tracking my own growth rate. So those unspoken journey, don't look at it as they are too much work. Look at it as a faster way of making you grow. I think that's what I said me.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you. In the house, if you have any questions, let us know. You can indicate, and then we'll give the mic to you to ask them. Thank you. Wow, thank you so much. Clinton, so you talked so much about what you were doing to fast track your growth. I have a question with regards to balancing social life. How are you able to balance that, or you're all just work, and professional?
Just sleep in the office on Fridays.
And for a young guy, you stay in the office on Fridays, you're there Saturdays. How are you able to balance this with, other social aspects of your life?
Okay, as regards social life, work was social life for me.
I got it there.
Work was social life for me, right? Okay, for instance, going out on events on Saturdays. Although I'm helping do some things, but it was an act of recreation for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was learning while relaxing. Let me use that one. So there was no time I could come out and say, okay, let me take time off work and flex. So in between the work, I find a way of finding joy, happiness, right, with what I do. Interacting with people, that's one of my hobbies, meeting new people, right? So anytime I meet new people within the work process or within the course of discharging a particular duty, it's a part of recreation and social life for me. So I've learned how to integrate work in between. Things have changed slightly a bit now. Okay. But then each point in time, I try to see a way how I can integrate social life into work.
Okay.
Because I work practically Saturdays to Saturdays. Wow. So just Sundays that I have for family and stuff.
Okay.
My girlfriend.
No.
Just checking.
Just checking. Okay. So Clinton, have you been a time where you were trying to fast track your learning, taking on all those extra things, that you've made any mistake that comes to mind any time? At every point where you were learning, you were getting everything right, you made mistakes. And what has been your experience?
Okay, thank you. As regard that, at the instance where I started, I knew that pitfalls are inevitable in life. And I was asking myself, how do I minimize these pitfalls to the barest minimum? So the answer was mentorship. So mentorship helped me bridge that gap, really. As a youth, as a young person, I knew some of the times our decision may be based on youthfulness, right? Sometimes we can forgo the voice of reason. So I tried surrounding my life with mentors, people that have gone, people I look forward to, people I look up to. I'm like, they are living my future. So they must have made those mistakes, and I need to learn from them how they were able to navigate those paths in order to help reduce my error rate. So at each point in time before taking any decision, even today, I always have a recourse to consult a mentor. Look at the next step. Look at what I want to do. Look at the plans. What do you think? Awesome. So a good number of the times, mentors have told me, Quentin, it's not yet time, and I will be. So because I was able to trust them, believe their judgment that attaining this side is not by luck or by chance. So they should have known better or navigated this path. So at each point in time, I consult with them and they tell me it's not yet time. Like one time I met one of my mentors. I told her, Ma, I need more money. Because I think I was over, underpaid for what I was doing. Over the years, I've grown, I've added potential, I was doing stuff. So I told her I needed more money. I want to change the job. She looked at me and laughed and said, Quentin, it's not yet time. Say, she's a Yoruba woman. She said, Father, she said, be coming down. She said, be coming down. He said, when it's right, I will let you know. And that was what happened. So mentors I consider mentor as the gift of God to men.
Yeah.
So leverage them, their support systems. So for you to actually reduce that rate of error, you need them. So that was what I was able to do. Not that it has turned out 100% perfect every time, but it has reduced the error rate by almost 95%. So there have been no regrettable mistakes, so to speak, because at each point in time, our consult mentors, where there's multitude of counsel, there's safe.
Yeah,
Preach,
absolutely.
Pastor.
So,
Thank you so much, Quentin, for sharing that. Why? My next question goes to you. So someone says, we often hear you say you are an accidental HR. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Okay, so just quickly, first job was in sales. Did it for 1 year, and then I did 3 years at Tequila. And after 3 years, that was direct marketing. I was a bit tired, and I was looking out for another job. Like I said, I didn't have an idea at any point in time that I was going to do human resources. The closest I came to anything HR was MBA school, which was just a semester around human resources, or I think it was even personnel management then. Yes, it was. And there was no love between the subject and myself, but somebody took my CV and sent it to Athronicid. And the role that was available was pseudo HR, more like the admin operational part of HR. And like I said, hey, it was going to give me advancement. I looked at the offer, it was going to give me more money. Sure, why not? So I took it as another job. And like I said, this was an admin part. But the beauty of this was that since my second year in school, I'd wanted to work with an Athronicid. They actually came to recruit in Ife, but I missed it. This was 87. And then I found an opportunity in the same environment in 1999. And I was like, let me take it. So I took it, pseudo HR. 6 months later, I was moved into core HR, executive selection and training. So it was another job. I did not speak to anyone that I wanted to do HR. I did not have a dream to be in HR. I didn't have any focus to be in HR. It was just another job that came along the way of my career journey. I took it, and when I realized that, okay, this is where I'm going to settle into for a while, like I said earlier on, I started developing technical capabilities in that space by reading. The thirst for knowledge just took me over within the HR space, and that was it. So that's why I say it's an accidental thing rather than saying that, oh, I'd always wanted to be in HR. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So one of your followers online is asking, one of your favorite quotes is, "The birds shall sing again." Can you please give a brief of what that means?
It was during the pandemic. And interestingly, we moved a lot from physical conferences, right, and speaking engagements to virtual or webinars. And the more we had conversations with people, the more we realized that people were going through a lot. And many people were also talking to us, especially the younger people. If you remember, people lost their jobs. People lost loved ones. People fell ill. People were not sure about what the future was going to be like. And in some instances, people didn't lose their jobs, had salary cuts, and they kept asking, how am I going to survive? My bills are piling up, and now my salary is not 100% anymore. Money isn't coming in for the organization. I'm not sure about the bill. So it was a lot. People didn't know that I was also battling with my own issues from a career perspective at that time. But people were loading us with all those questions, trying to find out, almost like you becoming a prophet and telling them what the future was going to be like. I remember that a business owner, I made this public on one of my posts on LinkedIn, also approached me. He wasn't sure what the future was going to be. He's into the food business. People were not going out to eat anymore. Takeout was very, very slow. And he was asking me, for 16 minutes, he was on the phone with me. I said, how long is this going to last? I didn't have the answers, but being an incurable optimist, the best I could do was to say, things are going to get better. So I just put all of that together. And then one morning, it just the expression just came to me. We are not going to continue like this. Things are going to get better. And the way for me to encapsulate all of that was to say that we should all breathe, because people were scared. I was as well. We were all scared, but we also needed to breathe. And yeah, the birds are beginning to sing again.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we have some questions from our online audience. We have Solomon Johnson to Yemi from Zoom. What has been your greatest achievement as an outstanding HR pro and your biggest failure?
Biggest achievement, I don't think I can count biggest achievement yet. I don't think so. I think I'm on a journey. One experience has added to another for me. If I have to live my life all over again, honestly, I don't regret any move so far. I don't, because the more you think, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that, and then something happens in the future, and you realize if you weren't there, you wouldn't be here today. So for me, achievement is an ongoing thing. So it's not yet time to count achievements. Failures as well. I think my greatest failure was what I mentioned. Failing school start was the greatest failure for me, because I didn't think it was going to happen. And benefit of hindsight, I'm actually happy that it happened at that time, because if you fail quickly and fail forward, you're likely to learn. So each time I get into situations that seem almost like a failure situation, I remember that episode and other episodes, and it just gives you some sort of encouragement that, hey, you've been there before, you've been through that process, this is another one. So there have been challenges. So let me not call them failures. There have been challenges along the way. I've lost my job before in an organization where I was promoted in 3 days. I was given a sign-on bonus of 15 million naira. The following year, I was promoted and my salary moved by 50%. 8 months later, the same organization asked me to leave. So there have been challenges. In some organization where I thought I had consolidated in my career at maybe the peak of human resources, at some point from the blues, the managing director called me on a Monday and said, we should have another conversation about my long-term relationship with the organization. And that led to my exit. So there have been challenges. I joined an organization where everybody is still asking me to tomorrow, Yemi, why did you join? I'm not going to name the organization. Nobody should say anything. Everybody asked me why I had to join that organization. Maybe this is one of the days I made this a bit public. The reason I'm actually here in the current organization was because I was in that organization. It was because somebody thought if I could be there managing the workforce of maybe 3,000 plus, oh, okay, it will be not easy. It will be not too difficult to now manage the current organization as well. So challenges will always come. We will grapple with them, we'll go through them, but we also need to realize that if those challenges don't come, we won't develop muscles to climb our mountains.
So I have another question from our online audience, from to why. What is that thing that has helped you stay and kept up and keep afloat in the industry?
I don't know. But I think growth will not happen if there is no vision, if there is no attempt to make sacrifices, and if you don't take risks. If I start from the last one, I've taken risks. The kind of risks that people will ask me on daily basis and say, I mean, I don't know, this opportunity is staring me in the face. Should I take it? If I remember in my own career journey, I will have taken that opportunity, and then I'll find out how it's going to pan out. It works out, we stay. It doesn't work out, we move. That's the way it is. So I have a colleague right now who is at a very senior level in human resources, and an opportunity is coming up within literally the same industry. Income will change about 40%. Role will move out of human resources into corporate services, and we've been at it for like 1 week. Should I not? I'm thinking At times we pray that God should provide opportunities. When opportunities come, we start doubting our capabilities, So I think taking risk is one thing that has helped me. I've taken major risks from athletics to Vic Lawrence, from Standard Chartered to People Temp. I took a risk by going to my last, the one that we didn't mention. That was a risk as well. We need to make sacrifices. I keep saying that we need to spend time in the future. There are so many things in the present now asking for our time and attention. From time to time, we need to take ourselves away from those things and plan for them. I read a lot. That gave me a good grounding. Unlike you, I didn't have mentors. Some schools of thought are also saying that so many parts of HR would not be in existence in the next 5 to 10 years because we'll be able to leverage on what technology can allow us to do, and therefore we will not need bumps on the seat. We probably will just have somebody sitting at home and just churning out data within the space of HR. Will all that happen? Yes. How soon will it happen? I think it depends on organization. It depends on sectors. But the point that we cannot all run away from is that tech is going to take over our world. It's already taking over our world, and HR cannot be isolated from that movement. Yeah.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you so much. At what point would you say, based on your experience, and maybe the experience of some of your colleagues, would you say that the industry should start to sort of map or chart a path?
Specialize
For themselves. So say the first job you ever got was customer service, and this is not what you want to do. So at what point, so do you continue to just do that because that's what you have, and you want to build your skills and you want to earn an income, you just continue that? Or at what point do you now say to yourself that I want to be an HR professional, or I want to be a lawyer, I want to be in sales? And what is that sweet point that you take that move? This will also now land this question, and this comes from the position of negotiation. So, negotiate usually, and I want 1 million. But a rookie, how does a rookie meander that place of negotiation? I remember I heard you say that you talk to yourself and you're telling your mentor that you earn what you were earning them wasn't so much. And your mentor said it is not yet time, still wait. So how long should I'm not even sure. I'm asking specifically on behalf of someone out. How long can I start a man or ask for what I want? Thank you so much. Fantastic.
Thank you. I may not have a definite timeline. I'll just give a general answer. When you are starting, most of the times, it's just to get your foot in first. That's the most important thing. Get your foot in. Now, at that time, let me say you are a fresh graduate from school, you just finished NYC, you've never had a work experience. So you need to start by getting work experience first. So it can be in any, if what you are applying for part-time is not forthcoming, you can get something and use it as a negotiation chip to the next role. Now, as a rookie, I may not have the definite number of things, but if you ask me, I may say between 2 to 5. You should be able to start starting a clear course for your career. And this is where also I will fall back to mentorship. Most of the times you need to explain to someone who can understand you, this is where I have been, this is where I want to go, how do I make the transition? Now, on that stage, you may not be negotiating. Like for instance, you want to get into the HR space, you've been doing customer service. Sometimes it may require maybe a lower pay cut just to enable you transition, because you know that maybe within the next 2 years, the money you couldn't make, you will start making it. So transition from where you are to where you want to be. So money shouldn't be the primary focus, let me use the word primary focus, but getting the skills and competence, and also the organizations you work with. Sometimes People prefer relations that are relaxed, no stress, can't come and kill yourself, that kind of thing. So if you can be in a place that will facilitate your growth, that will be a big advantage for you when you're starting off. So, but between 2 years and 5 years, you should be able to start niching a path for yourself. I think that's I don't know why.
Okay, so it's a journey. At some point, we will be dictated to. After a while, we will have a say. We'll probably come to our parallels might meet, and after a while, you might start dictating, but it will take a process. But what will allow you to do that, it's your years of experience, your years of competence, right? Will give you an opportunity to have the confidence to ask for more. That's the thing. So, for instance, this is what I say during interviews. Once you know that you're going for that interview, there are 4 or 5 people for every role minimum. Make yourself a standard by which others will be measured. Because most of us are human resources. You know the things when a candidate leaves the panel, we say, let's talk about that candidate. And if it's a great candidate, but one, we say, that's a good candidate, but let's listen to others, right? Yeah. That individual has created a standard already. If it's below par, we say, no, let's see others. We don't waste time. So in readiness, every time, not only because you want to wow the panelists, but in actual fact, about the value that you want to give out, get ready. So at the point when you walk out and they say that's the candidate, but let's see other candidates, know that at that point they come back to you, something in there about you. You can start. It's not about 10 years, 5 years, or 15 years. Even in the conversations between the HR people or the compensation guys, when they're negotiating with you, read between the lines. There'll be something that they'll be telling you that you're the candidate that we want for this role. Once you get to that point, be a bit in the driver's seat. So it's going to take a process. There is no one size fits all answer to that question. I think it's about the individual, and it's about where we all are in our journeys concerning our careers. But if we have at the back of our mind that value begets value and that money will chase value ultimately, then we will concentrate more on value, and then we'll let other things take over in terms of the conversations around our career.
Thank you so much.
Okay, just a little thing in addition to what I've said. So I can clearly relate with this. After all the years of development, 2 years down the line, I attended another interview, and it took all the faith on it to ask for 3 times of what I was collecting. I mean, to say it, to say it took faith, and I said it, and the HR said, "Okay." I'm like, "Ma, you heard me."
Did you just say okay?
So I said, "You heard me. Like, you're asking for some amount net." I say, "Right." He said, "Fine. It's within our budget." That was when I went back to my seat. I went back to my desk that day and added another passion to work, because I knew these things are working.
Absolutely. Take more.
My question goes to why I want to just an advice. What do you advise individuals, anybody to sit? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you have to advise any individual changing career?
What do I advise? Okay, so because I've been there before, again, this is another question that's going to be a not one size fits all. We're on different career trajectories, different areas of life. The other circumstances that we don't bring to the career discussions are different also from one person to another. This is the basic for me. Whatever life offers you to do now, do it well. Yeah. It is only when you're doing what you're doing now very well that people can refer you, right? If you don't do very well and you're moaning and groaning and you're thinking, I want to change my career, it won't work. I mean, I was listening to CKA on the Life Network about perspectives to things. Yeah. Where we are and our mindset about things generally will inform how we see things. And it will also inform how other people see us. Because if you're moaning and groaning, I promise you, your conversations will not be positive. People will not be able to relate. They won't be able to connect with you as an individual who can ask for 3 times salary. You see what I mean? But if you say, oh, no, I to change my job, but I'm enjoying customer service right now. There's something in there. Somebody wants to listen more to you. But if you say, I've been in customer service for 3 years now, and I can't wait to get out of it. From that negative perspective, the other negative perspectives and other negative perspectives. But if it's like, oh, you're doing it well. And I say to younger folks, if we count 10 people in customer service or human resources or admin or supply chain, 10 people at your cadre, name come out of the 10. So that when people can refer, and we are in a world now of not just picking up jobs on LinkedIn or adverts on website. It's about who can refer you. So when you're not in the, what will people say about you? In terms of your technical competence, don't say it's because you know Yemi Fashew and he works at 7up. Let me call him and say, no. Let somebody say to Yemi, I know a guy, diligent, great guy. You are looking for someone in HR or supply chain or admin. That is the guy you are looking for. And let it also come from somebody I can trust as well, making the reference or the referral. Exactly. Is what I'm just worried. I'll be so worried to refer somebody who will go mess up my name. Yes. You see what I mean? So it's a lot of building yourself, building your communication, building a solid network, being very credible, technically competent, and all that. The outcome is a change of career. Yeah. And that is where people concentrate on. They don't concentrate on the basics that they need to do before they change their career. So changing the career is an outcome, but the basics that we need to build are all the things that will surround that conversation. Wow.
The story is so personal because I'm a lawyer and I'm transitioning into it.
Right, interesting.
So my question is, how do you overcome doubt? 5 years in law school in Nigeria, then 1 year in university, 6 years doing law. Then all of a sudden you're doing law to HR. People will start questioning this. It's like, okay, I can get more involved and stuff like that. But yeah, people is talking. But how do you communicate to others? How are you able to help others? Because some might see crazy, some see me as crazy. What do you do? I have no friends, want to do HR. So how are you able to overcome that uncertainty, doubt, to get to the level where you are now?
Okay, thank you. I already knew, like I said, today I already knew that law wouldn't be it for a long time, right? I've already convinced myself. I think the greatest support I've had with my parents believing in my decision. So I've already convinced myself. I told my parents, look at what I'm thinking and look at what I want to do. This is what will help me maximize the best of me. And they're like, okay, if you think that fits, we support you. So every other thing was commentary, right? So my parents and support, I'm at peace with myself and I go all the way to make it happen. So friends and close associates, I was able to explain this to me. I remember one time, one HR was asking me, are you sure you can do this? I'm like, I have the support of my parents and I go all the way. So I think that enough peace that this is what I want to do for the next maybe so year of my life. And also family backing was what made it sweet and smooth for me.
Thank you so much. We have a question from Facebook from Prince Charles. It reads, what is your opinion on age limits from the perspective of someone who wants to explore opportunities in other professions than he has already been used to?
I don't think there is any age limit. Anyone can change at any point in time. So a couple of things: interest, sustained interest over a period of time, knowledge in the field that you want to go into. I mean, I always like to tell the story of a stone cutter. If you bring a big stone into here now and give me a hammer, I'll keep hitting it. I do not know exactly when it's pieces. But the point is, if I don't keep hitting, I won't get it. Some other people might have bigger muscles and they hit it harder and get results faster than others. But the point is, if you're like, thank God, and you're very focused on what you want to do, then give your attention, give it time to develop yourself in that space. I've seen somebody when I was at Standard Chartered who was an operations manager at GT Bank, and she joined Standard Chartered as same level with me, HR operations manager. We were sitting opposite each other. So somebody despite the fact that she was an operations manager, operations as in banking operations, she joined HR as a manager. I've seen people join at director level. Yeah. So I mean, just you got to again, optimism, preparedness, looking for opportunities. Just 3 days ago, I said when opportunity knocks on your door, do what? Be at home. Be at home means getting ready for it. So people think that, oh, life should give me an opportunity. Most times life doesn't give it to us. We ask for it, we demand for it by getting ready for it. So there is no limit, there is no time. The guy who started KFC started when 65 or 68. I mean, we have so many other stories around the world of people who started doing new things at 50 or 40. No limit. I got into corporate services at over 50. That's another example. I didn't know I was going to pivot quickly, but opportunities came. But the point is, were we ready for those opportunities when they came? No limit. Just get ready.
As a rookie in the house, what's your pattern advice for other rookies out there?
Okay, let me talk my generation, right?
My generation.
My generation. Okay, we believe that we need to be pampered, right? Everybody wants to be pampered. Everybody wants to be taken care of. Everybody doesn't want stress. But I can tell you that you can't be pampered into a senior managerial role. So YFA can tell you that. So nobody will take care of you to the MD position. If you actually seek career growth, it's high time you develop the leadership competence of becoming a self-leader first, taking personal responsibility to make things happen. Now, it stands you out faster in a team because other people are just doing the minimum to keep them out of the radar. But you are taking just a little bit extra. You know, so in a world where everybody wants to be pampered, if you just do just a little bit extra, it stands you out. So I think it's time we take this game of self-leadership back to its height. So it's not always rosy every time. So you don't have to make it at each point in time. Get up, you're not feeling like it, you throw in the towel. No. I think it's time we start getting a lot of resilience, mentorship direction. At least before you blow it, talk to someone, talk to a mentor. Because I tell you personally, I would have blown it a couple of times if I had moved with youthfulness. So, but mentorship is always the voice of reason, always coming me down at each point in time to take steps when they are due. So let's leverage it. Let's take self-leadership because no one is coming to save us. Like you said, people are not prepared for the next role, and when it comes, it takes by surprise. So for my generation, let's start caring for ourselves and not allow people to always take care of us at every point in time.
Awesome. I mean, you said something very pertinent. You talked about mentorship. And for me, it's one area for my life that I realized I struggled with at first, gaining access to mentors. And over the years, I also became a mentor. And I found out that people were actually struggling to gain access to me because of the workload and all of that. And that's one of the reasons why I came up with the book, my HR Storybook. I mean, you're someone who have gotten the book. Is there any way this book had impacted you with regards to learning and reading stories from mentors in any way?
Okay, yes, personally it has. Grateful enough, I was part of the team that compiled the story. So reading through the book, now it's like each mentor story, you will meet it at definitely one stage of. So you can flip into page 33, chapter 33. And it's actually what you are experiencing at that point in time.
Wow, yeah.
Right? And you are reading the story of how the person navigated through, and you're like, okay. So rather than take this decision, let me take it this way and see how it pans out. So it's like the distant mentor. So each person should have this book as his toolkit. So because at each point in time, like Yemi said, it can become a manual, a Bible for you to always have a cause to refer at each point in time of the decision.
Fantastic.
Very good.
Wow. Thank you so much. Wow. Agree with me that it's been very interesting and learning conversations so far. Because of time, we have to bring this to a close. There's a quote that reads, storytelling is our obligation to the next generation. If all we are doing is marketing, we are doing it with service, and not only to our own profession, but to our children and their children. Give something of meaning to your audience by inspiring, engaging, and educating them with stories. Stop marketing, start storytelling. On that note, I want to thank everyone for your time. Our online guests, our guests would like to make presentation. My HR storybook was created to bring life and career success principles to professionals through these three concepts. First, storytelling for relatability and authenticity. Second, mentoring on the go for accessibility and self-leadership. Third, collaboration for impact, growth, and opportunity to give for professional advancement. The mission has evolved from storybook, I am so excited, into a live interactive series with several seasoned professionals across the world for more connection and to give opportunity for live pinpoint conversations. I know you've been enjoying the series so far. To get more, follow my social media handles, and if you're already following me, click on the link below for more exciting series. See you around.
Wow. Clinton, thank you so very much. I've personally learned a lot from you. So many nuggets to get today. Thank you so much. So on behalf of Lara Yeku and the entire guests that are here, and the entire HR audience community, I'm presenting this to you. Thank you so
much. On behalf of Lara Yeku and on behalf of we rookies, for your countless impacts on us. I mean, you don't know about, like I said to you this evening, is that your impact has spread like wildfire across the rookies. You've given so many people hope. You've given so many people the push, the belief, and just that mentality to do more and become more, whatever it is that we've achieved. We're now being inspired once more again to go for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.